As you look around the world, which markets do you see the fastest innovation when it comes to e-commerce? When we just sort of get on your app and you order something up, it gets delivered, for example. Is it China? Is it the United States? Is it Europe?
I actually think that places like Shanghai and some parts of Western Europe are on the cutting edge, along with some of the bits of the US, but really at a par. I mean, the US in many respects, there's a lot of advanced e-commerce, but I can tell you it's very advanced in places like Shanghai and Western Europe as well, and the penetration of e-commerce in aggregate is even higher in some of those places than even the US. So, when you want to learn what's going on, I would be just as tempted to tell you go to Shanghai as stay in New York.
And how do you market in that circumstance? I mean, we're used to going to a fast food restaurant, for example, and there's a Coca-Cola there. It's on the menu.
Yeah.
So let's have that Coke or that Diet Coke.
Yeah.
You don't have that when you're on your app.
No, but you have to get it. I mean, if you went back even 2 or 3 years in China, for example, when a lot of the apps and the mobile payment systems came in, we weren't on the menu. Actually, even worse, we were trying to sell perhaps a returnable glass bottle to the restaurant, which had no way of being in the delivery system. So we've had to re-engineer our business system very quickly to both be present on the app. So what's the virtual representation of what you'd normally see in the store? And how do we change the packaging portfolio so that we can be part of the delivery system? And you have a lot of places in Shanghai where food ordered on apps and delivered is 30–50% of the restaurant sales.
That's the relationship with the consumer. Talk about Coca-Cola as Coca-Cola. How is technology changing the way you do business, and for that matter, your workforce?
It's changing it in lots of profound ways. I mean, in simple terms, you go back 10, 20 years, we were a large company and we're one of the few that could afford to invest in expensive IT systems and do our own stuff, our own programs, our own server farms. You wind forward to today, that's no longer the model. We've had to move to the cloud. We've had to move to standard programs that whole industries use, and we had to use the mobile. The one thing I always say to the IT department is, just put it on the phone. Everything can be done on the phone. Let's just move everything to mobile on the phone. The old days of IT had training budgets. Why? Everyone knows how to use the apps on the phone. So it's profoundly changing the way that we work, and I think it's going to continue to flow through the organization. We have a big program of digitizing the company.
Does that translate into fewer employees as a practical matter because of the efficiencies from digital?
I think for sure it changes into a different profile. I mean, people are having to adapt to doing things in a different way. We've actually made a lot of changes in our IT departments to move to a different skill set. So it's certainly changing the nature of employment and the sorts of profiles you want. Whether we buy the services ourselves or we buy the services or do it ourselves makes a difference as to where the employees are. But net, more employment's being generated in the economies.
So can Coca-Cola compete with Silicon Valley and the digital startups when you're trying to recruit the young computer scientists?
Well, Atlanta is a very fast-growing economy. The state of Georgia has been ranked, top 1 or 2 of place to do business in the U.S. for many years in a row. The local political system has done a great job, so has the city. So it's a very competitive economy there, and we do very well in it. We're happy to see Atlanta and Georgia growing, and they've done a lot to invest in tech startups and the media industry in and near Atlanta, and it's being very successful.